How Discord members. Let's broadly go over stuff for next week so that everyone is on the same page. First of all, I want to start with Bitcoin bouncing here over the weekend, which is great for our swing calls that we are currently in. And I would think that Bitcoin this week could either fill this fair value gap or this one before then absolutely tanking. I would love to see it retest the 200 and then reject. This week, very prevalently so, is major earnings companies. So we got Coca-Cola pre-market Monday. We got of interest First Republic Bank that obviously has been in the news, and that's gonna be pretty insane, I'm sure. We got UPS, always a market decider, and once this makes a move, it is a directional move for days. You can play Pepsi off of Coca-Cola, but usually this does the sympathy move, and then you kind of miss it, whatever. The big boys, Microsoft, of huge interest. Now, if you look at the chart, I kind of like the setup here. Yes, the 200 is moving down, but the 9 is on the 1 hour, obviously. The 9 has crossed the 21, so we could get a sharp reversal on good earnings that hits this top level here. Now, the interesting thing here is obviously that TTM is curling up as we got some green divergence, and we have the RSI pretty neutral. We'll have to see how Monday goes. I'll be able to see on the flow and the dark pool how they're positioning themselves. The thing with Microsoft, though, okay, if we go back here, it always has crazy earnings moves. So look at this. You have this huge candle up and a huge candle down, and then you have a even bigger move down, and then it goes up. So this is a IV killer, meaning you don't want to be in it for earnings, you want to be playing it after. Same thing here. Look, we had a huge move down there and then a retrace that didn't quite make it, but then later on it did. So this earnings season in particular, last earnings season was good because everybody was yapping about AI is going to be very prevalent now, and we'll have to kind of see. We also have Google, Visa. We know that Discover was okay, Visa should be too. McDonald's just laid off an insane amount of people and opened its first completely automated restaurant in Texas. Then we got Boeing on Wednesday, always a good one. This one, Meta, is going to be particularly interesting. For some reason, sometimes I trade Roku good and sometimes not. It's very weird. Got some airlines. We got MasterCard off of Visa. MasterCard usually does some crazy moves and then chugs. I'm rarely in it for the actual earnings. And then we got Cloudflare. We got Amazon. Now, last week we saw an insane amount of flow going into Amazon 107s and Amazon 109s. This also could be an IV trap. I mean, let's look at the daily here to get a good picture. I know we still have that gap here and we got a gap here, right? It's looking like it wants to reverse and go and fill those gaps, but Amazon is tricky. I mean, it's a very large and complex business. So I do like that the TTM, even though after a downturn, it is definitely curling. The only concerning things are these red divergent bars here, but I will keep a look on it if we get an insane amount of flow. Again, with Amazon, look, here I remember these earnings. I mean, they've missed now 2 times in a row with a down move here and here, and previous to that we had a huge gap up. So if they can bring something new to the table, yeah, we could get to 115 absolutely. But if not, this is going to be a great short in my opinion. And obviously, Snap can move the market, but it's after Meta now, which is good. But Alphabet, Meta, and Snap and Pinterest are all intertwined. We also saw LMT sell off after earnings. We got Raytheon and Gilead this week. And then we get the Oilers. Now the Oilers usually have a run up into earnings, right? And then they sell off like clockwork. And the interesting thing here is if we look on the daily, remember we had that when we had that gap up, remember, on oil because of something OPEC said, I said that I would wait for oil to come down here to then play for the breakout into the summer. And I still think we have a little bit ways to go, but if you look at my drawing here, pretty close. So once these earnings are over, I think we should play the reversal for the Oilers into the summer because money is going to go from equities to commodities, and summer is always good for oil, right? Now, on Friday, we had the German index, DAX, close with a green day. It's starting to look a little toppy, though, if you look at the MACD, but I think just like we had this double top up here, I would think that it can reach up here before it rejects, which brings us to the VIX. And as you can see, we are on the bottom and we are absolutely ready for takeoff any day now, but it still has some ways to go, right? And on Monday they're starting this new VIX one-day index because of all the 0DTE popularity that has popped up. So I mean, I've been saying for a while, we were going to touch this box here, which we did, because that was the golden cross reversal retest move and then come down. I don't think we have that much lower to go, and we literally are aiming here for that one more pop here at the end of April, early May into the full moon. Okay, so let's look at the hourly here. We got the 9 under the 21 and the 9 under the 50. So it is starting to get ready to reverse, but it still has some more room to go down. But as you can see, this has changed color, but the MACD is not ready to be crossed. And the wave trend, excuse me, also shows that it can go down further. And I would like it to make a double bottom here, which brings me to the most interesting part of this whole video, and that is the Dixie, okay? This is the daily chart. It's clearly in a downtrend, and we got the 50 also starting to curl down. However, we've had a uptrend on the MACD, and the parametric oscillator is also curling. I know we already have a double bottom here on the daily, but I would want it to make a double bottom on the hourly before reversal down to here. And that would then give us our pop that we're looking for to play to then switch to long puts. Okay? I hope that makes sense. So Bitcoin doing its thing here definitely, in my opinion, helps. And then there's a number of these seasonality charts. There really is. And they're all a little different, but they have the same idea. And we're chopping here, but we're looking to play this push here. Obviously, the system is corrupt. It's beyond screwed up and all of this, but I would still think that with these earnings. Now, another thing I always show you guys is this, right? And it's also confirming that we are topping out. However, you can see here, for instance, once that has crossed, it's come down and then done a final push. I would love a double top here, kind of like here or here, maybe a third one up there. So some data I'm looking at suggests a pop, some not. But looking at these earnings, I think AI is going to be very prevalent. It's hard to say, but let me check this out. Let's look at SPY 4 hour. we could see a reversal for a double top there and then a final push. Uh, on Friday, we also have on the 1 hour, it is curling. Is it toppy? Yes, of course. Are you kidding me? But I've seen, this 1 hour MACD, if one SPY crosses, it usually every time runs a little bit. And we could get that other go here. This is that drawing I had in a few videos ago, and that would be chopping, and then I want a final push to resolve it. We're really close. We are really close. And even if we only got a double top, that is on ES 4200. And I mean, that's a sizable move. And we can get these candles. We've gotten, in this chop period, we've gotten 2 of them. So, actually 4. So we can easily get one. Now, what could be? It can be earnings. Imagine if Google and Microsoft all have fantastic earnings somehow. But looking at the calendar, where are we? We are here. Okay. There is a Fed blackout period. We got Chicago Fed index on Monday. We got Dallas. Both can move market. But then there's a lot of European stuff. We got housing on Tuesday. We got Richmond on Tuesday. We got Australia's inflation rate. We got some auctions there. No Fed speakers, so we're probably going to hear from Janet Yellen, I'm sure. We got durable goods, okay, Wednesday. So Wednesday is going to be a really interesting day, and that's a big market mover. As you see, the previous was negative. They're expecting 0.6, consensus is 0.8. So imagine this comes in, at that or higher, we're going to fly. We got oil numbers again on Wednesday, like always. Then we got some Asian data. European data. Thursday we got jobs, but most importantly we got GDP growth rate. Okay, and then we got Japan, which can always move futures, and we know that their rate decision is very important, can cause a gap up or a gap down every time, and they are slated to either keep it the same or start taking back. But most importantly this week, right, is not German data, even though fun. It is Friday morning after we get the German inflation rate. It's our core PCE. And that can be a $4 to $5 move on SPY. Okay? And then we're into May. So last week of April, usually bullish. Last year was not at all. And it was quite the shit show. So once I get my ranges for the week on Monday, I'm going to personally be looking to swing something. Now, I've gotten a lot of messages and people asking, when are we going to swing? When are we going to swing? Do you want to swing something with these crazy intraday moves? No, you don't. What you want to do is after April's choppy market, you want to be catching something like this. Or you want to be catching something like this. Okay? Something where the market chooses direction and isn't out to only kill 0 DTEs or enrich people. So since we've been chopping here now, just like we were chopping in February, then we get direction. And I think I've been very clear on that. But here, let me finish off this video by saying this is the October trend line. If we cannot get closing over it very soon, this whole channel is old news, because we've now spent some time under it. And personally, I think that we're gonna hit it and then start a rejection down and fill the 403 gap. Or no, it's not 403, it's 398 to 395, and then that's probably going to be sometime in June. So we're going to do some swings here. Now, if all the earnings come in, great. Then we're heading higher. We're heading to 4:30. So it's a huge week. Patience. I'll be issuing swings when I see it fit. Other than that, I'll be playing earnings and day trading, and trying to not sound like I've been partying for a week because I'm feeling under the weather. All right. Love yourself, love your family. I'll see you guys on Monday.